If I ask you for names of individuals with a disability who have succeeded and made an impact in our society, probably you will come up with names like Nick Vujicic, who was born without limbs, but that didn't limit him to become a well-renowned author and motivational speaker. Or Isaac Perman, who was paralyzed by polio in a wheelchair, but now he's an internationally known violinist, winner of more than 12 Grammy Awards. Or maybe my favorite, Professor Stephen Hawking, an individual who turned his disability to strength and transformed the way we understand our universe. As a science student, I have always been fascinated by the inspiring story of Stephen Hawking. But also as a curious person, I cannot help but wonder how these individuals were able to thrive in their lives, transcend all the obstacles, and become role models and inspirations to many. This is a question that I have always pondered upon and debated with myself. And whether it's impossible to know all the factors that contributed to success, I believe there are a few key aspects that may have played a role. And in order to find it, I had to experience what it is like to live with a disability. In 2015, when I was a sophomore student in college, my life took an unexpected turn. I had been feeling unwell for some time with some headaches, dizziness, and a noticeable decline in my vision. And after a series of medical tests, I was re-diagnosed with a brain tumor. It was a recurrence of the same tumor that had caused loss of vision in my left eye nearly 2 decades earlier. It is a condition that now is causing me a gradual visual loss in my right eye. At that time, the initial prognosis was total blindness in 15 years' time. That was shocking news. I crumbled and felt miserable. I started to question the very purpose of my life. Like, what is the point of studying a degree if one day I will go blind and be unable to work and do what I love? The thought of losing my vision and my ability to persevere my dream was overwhelming. And I really struggled to find any sense of hope or purpose. Overwhelmed by this uncertainty, I fell into severe depression and later dropped out of college. Now, that is when the inspirational life of Stephen Hawking came in. Certainly, I had heard of him years before my diagnosis, but I never felt like reading about his life. It was only after I went through these tough years that I took an interest in his life. But not as a scientist, but rather as a human. I read with great interest his biography and all the challenges he faced, and I found that resilience was one of his strongest human qualities. Resilience, the capacity to withstand and adapt to difficult or challenging life experiences and move forward. His outstanding character lifted my spirits and changed my view about disability and science. He became my role model and gave me the motivation to pursue a scientific career. That was a turning point in my life. The day I accepted my disability as simply one aspect of myself. Sometimes, most of the pain comes from not accepting who we are. But when we embrace and acknowledge our disability as simply one aspect of ourselves, life gets much easier. It has significant benefits for our emotional and mental well-being, helping us to develop a positive self-image and improving our self-confidence. After 2 years of my diagnosis, I went back to college. And I remember that I wanted to get involved in research activities from a very early age. Unfortunately, I encountered discriminatory barriers, mainly reflected in their lack of trust in my skills. Understanding that was very difficult. They questioned my ability to do certain tasks in the lab or use certain equipment. They underestimated my skills just because I looked different. I wanted to challenge those attitudes, so I started to propose and run my own projects, simple ones, but with significant impact. For example, we successfully built a piece of equipment to turn plastic waste into a combustible gas that can be used in gas stoves. It was proof of concept, and we demonstrated that it's possible to use waste to produce something with higher value. Later that year, we won an award in a national fair for research and innovation, and now this is an area of ongoing research in my university. I eventually graduated from college in 2021 with honors at the top of my class and with multiple awards on my CV. Graduating from college was incredibly rewarding. It allowed me to reflect on my strength and ability to persevere in the face of adversity. All these experiences changed my perception of disability and science. I began to see my hidden potential and what I can contribute to the world. I started to see my disability as an advantage for my field, mainly because it had already prepared me to deal with obstacles. Because of my medical condition, I became more resilient, persistent, and stubborn. Attributes that I use today when trying to achieve personal and academic goals. Over the course of the last 2 years, I have been more actively speaking and writing about disability, especially in the scientific community. And along the way, I have met some brilliant disabled scientists, including physicists, chemists, and astronomers. Surprisingly, they have also acknowledged that they view their impairment as an asset to thrive in their fields. It is like a secret tool in our pocket that we can use. All of this led me to believe one simple thing. Individuals with a disability possess a unique set of soft skills that they have developed on account of their condition. Skills that are often neglected by society and even by ourselves. That was a huge shift for me. I came to realize that maybe this is part of the answer to the initial question I was looking for. So, here are the reasons why disability can be an advantage in life and career. First, it is evident that disabled individuals face physical, social, and attitudinal barriers in their daily lives. As a consequence, we often develop a sense of resilience, perseverance, determination, and adaptability, skills that can be valuable in any field, whether you want to become a scientist or start up your own business. Second, individuals with disabilities are inherently problem solvers. We inherently do things different. We approach issues in life from a different perspective because we have had to think and adapt beyond standard approaches. Therefore, having a disability can provide individuals with a unique perspective on the world and on problem solving, leading to creative solutions that may not have been considered by others without the same perspective. The ability to think outside the box and find innovative solutions to problems can be a key asset. And finally, having a disability can also foster a greater awareness and understanding of the importance of inclusivity and diversity. This perspective can enhance the ability to connect with and support diverse individuals and teams, a quality that can be valuable for leadership roles. Well, having a disability may present some challenges. It should not be seen as a limitation, but rather as a unique perspective and set of experiences that can be leveraged to overcome obstacles and achieve success in any field. My advice to anyone living with a disability is not to allow anyone to convince you that your disability is disabling, because we are inherent problem solvers, and our mind is already prepared to deal with obstacles. And my advice for business and companies is to actively recruit, retain, and hire individuals with disabilities. Provide an atmosphere that accommodates their needs, and support and train your employees to educate about disability etiquette. By doing so, your companies can benefit from the great skills and perspective that this group of individuals can bring to the workplace, creating a more innovative, productive, and a better workforce. Thank you very much.